Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maximo and I'm just doing a quick, off the usual schedule video here because, well, I've basically got no other time to put this one up, but I played the Marvel's Avengers beta. I'm playing this on PC. I've locked the frame rate to 60 frames a second, but this game isn't very well optimized on PC right now, so it can actually be kind of a pain in the ass to play. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you on that one. It's pretty poorly optimized. I ended up using a PS4 controller just because I felt like it, and it actually plays pretty well on controller because, well, it's designed for that. And I'm not going to go too deep into my thoughts about it because, well, it's a beta. Things can change between now and launch time, especially since this beta is probably at least 3 months old at this point, so they've probably noticed a lot of the issues that are in there already and have hopefully fixed at least some of them. I will point out that outside of one mission that just refused to complete, no matter how many times I've reset to the checkpoint, the game just ran fine for the most part, outside of the performance issues, of course, although I've got everything on super high, but it really does feel like a problem with optimization, because even Microsoft Flight Simulator, which runs at like 20 frames a second, doesn't get as stuttery as this game does sometimes. But anyway, Marvel's Avengers. It's a story-driven at some points, but otherwise Destiny clone, like, superhero game. And it's also a brawler. So you go around, you beat the crap out of people, you've got 3 special abilities you can pull out when they charge up, you look for loot, you beat the crap out of a bunch of people, and you have fun. So there's a couple of things that I'm feeling a bit iffy about at the moment. The first is the story. They give you a couple of story missions to work with, and while I really like the idea of taking the existing superheroes and putting them into their own unique sorts of, you know, universes and perspectives and what have you, the one thing that I didn't like about this game's premise, at least from what I saw at the story cutscenes, was Kamala Khan, who appears to be the main character you follow around, because based purely on the stuff I've seen from her so far, her entire personality is annoying Avengers fan with a really annoying woman voice. That's pretty much all I've got to say on that one. She's really frustrating to listen to, and I really don't like her at all. Everyone else is fine. Like, I haven't watched all of the Avengers movies, but I've seen all the characters that are going to be in this one. I've seen Black Widow, I've seen Hulk, I've seen Iron Man, I've seen all the characters to get an idea of what they're like in the movies, basically. And that's clearly what these designs are based off of. And the sound-alikes are good enough that I wasn't fazed by them at all. I've been fazed by them in a couple of times, like how I believe they got a sound-alike for Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. There's a couple of other games that have done sound-alikes, like Zen Pinball 2, which was really frustrating for me personally, because I just could not get over the sound-alike sounding a bit weird. But no, they did a really good job here. They sound great. And outside of a couple of really annoying lines from Tony, I haven't noticed anything particularly out of character for these characters. And the other thing I'm kind of worried about as well is the live service aspect of this game, because you never exactly know what they're going to give you. We all already know about the skin brands from the random people that are coming. We already know about the fact that Spider-Man is going to be exclusive to the PlayStation 4, which hurts me deeper than anything else. But the main thing I'm worried about is just how exactly are they going to continue the story after the main story of the game is complete. Because they're going to be adding in more heroes. They're going to be adding in more just dudes in general to play with. And then they're going to be expanding the story for quote-unquote years. Which is a bit bizarre to just kind of promise that right out of the gate. And you know what it's like with these live service games. It could turn out like Destiny, which has stuff coming through a lot, but it all turns out to be a bit crap. It could be like Anthem, which was just abandoned right out of the gate and still has no signs of getting that promised content update. The main reason I'm kind of worried about all these things on the outside, though, is because there's one part of the game that I actually really like, and that's the combat. Because the combat is super smooth. Getting hits in is really weighty. It really does feel like these superheroes are throwing their weight around. These special abilities are really satisfying to use, especially with Iron Man, since you've got the ability to fly around and fire off your repulsors at people. So I can just be flying around taking pot shots while everyone else on the ground is taking a few swings. And you've got 3, like, AI companions. It's not like Destiny where you have to rely on some random dudes who are dropping in. No, the AI is actually pretty decent in this one. It doesn't seem to do objectives or go for the Arkham Asylum / Marvel Spider-Man style takedowns. But it does run over to help you as soon as you go down most of the time, if it's got the ability to. I have seen, like, AI try to run to me, but they've been surrounded by, like, 3 different people, and they haven't been able to make it through. But, yeah, the AI are good at what they do, and they're more than capable of, like, holding off the forces while you go do the objectives, which I'm not going to complain too much about, because, I mean, if they could try a little bit harder, but then they could just screw the pooch entirely. But yeah, it also looks great, especially with, like, Iron Man's wrist rockets and the explosions going on. They look really good. All the animations with the slight slowdown when you get the dodge in the combat right. Oh, that's so good. There's plenty of other abilities you get as well, like you get the ability to vault over the top of people when you're Iron Man. Apparently you have the ability to swap out your 3 abilities with other ones in the full game, and I'm looking forward to experimenting with that. Not to mention you've got like 3 different kinds of shots with Iron Man, but while all the characters do play relatively similarly, you'll be pressing the same buttons to do the same things most of the time. Their abilities on the L1, R1, and L1 plus R1 buttons are all entirely different. Their movesets definitely need a bit more thinking going on with them. And playing as Hulk and basically needing to know when to pull out your super R2 rage power to get your health back versus knowing when to do your shots properly with Iron Man versus when to know when you can like shoot an enemy in the back with Black Widow because she's really quick and can get behind people really easily. Those little things are different enough that it definitely gives everyone a bit of a unique feeling to them. Again, my least favorite is Kamala Khan because she's just not that interesting. Her hands get big and she punches people with them. Great, you're not like a robot man, you're not like a secret agent style lady, you're not like a gigantic green monster that can just tank a ton of damage. Nah, you're just some girl. It's just a bit weird, especially since, again, they're claiming she's gonna be like the middle, the center of the entire experience. And I know this because I had to play a couple of story missions with her and she's just like really frustrating to listen to. But still, I'm enjoying the absolute shit out of the combat. It's intensely satisfying and that's probably like the main reason I'm thinking about finding a way to go and get this game. Because if I can find it relatively cheap, I might just go buy it. I wasn't thinking about it, but now that I've played the beta, I'm certainly going to give it a shot. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you. I'd show you more footage, but my recorder dropped so many frames that it just felt kind of painful after a while. So, yeah. You might actually see a video on this in like 2 weeks when it's out. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.